Hey guys, so today we are answering a subscriber question, and the question in question was, Frederick, what is your unpopular programming opinion? So let's get into it. Well, I assume that this person kind of touches on that everybody has some opinion or something that is less popular than what people, well, what they would like to, and I'm no exception to this, of course. In my place of work, I have a very, very unpopular opinion, and I will share that one with you, and you will see if you like it or if you don't. My personal most unpopular, the thing that I very rarely get any type of traction for or adherence to, is that I believe that programmers who are inexperienced, or I'm not saying stupid, but one of the most frustrating people I know when it comes to working is the sort of person who focuses more on subjective developer value than the maintainability of a project. I fucking hate these people. I really do. Like, I really dislike working with these people, and they are everywhere. There's always someone at a company who is willing to risk the whole goddamn project for a library that does almost nothing. It's to the point where it's almost pointless to add it in. The value that you get is so low, but the complexity goes up, and you're basically just fucking up the code base for other people who are, for some reason, not as interested in that specific little thing that just makes, like, that little gold nugget that just gives you that satisfying, damn good feeling that you need to feel that you're doing right by whatever programming god got that damn dumb thing in your head. That is my most unpopular programming opinion, because I to this day have never ever been able to see, like, identify, because it's always this is always what happens. It starts out by some person coming and saying, "Hey guys, I've just read this awesome blog post about this thing, this guy here, and he said that we should be doing this because he knows what he's talking about. It sounds really, really awesome. We should add this library in and change our work processes to do this thing instead, because this is just better than whatever we're doing right now." And then everybody, if people are, if it's really out there, some people might go, "Oh, maybe we can try it out just a little bit." And I'm like, why? Why is it just that I can come in and suggest any dumb idiot thing that I want, and then all of a sudden we're up for discussion about just trying that out just a little bit, and let's put that in production code and see if that works? No. What you do is that the person who comes with the suggestion has to make an informed decision and actually prove to you, first and foremost, that the thing that he's or she is suggesting is going to provide a lot of value. And you should be informed about the process, about basically figuring, because there is always a process to figuring out, all right, these are the benefits, these are the downsides. There is no universal good solution. There's always a trade-off, and that trade-off is not apparent to some people, and that trade-off is so goddamn important. I mean, why do you think we get legacy in the first place? We have all these dumb decisions that come in from ad hoc, like all over the place. People adding subjective value and forgetting about the most fundamental thing, that they could have done all of the things that they are doing right now without that extra overhead, without that extra deviation in the code base, without that extra complexity. And the only reason they actually added in is to satisfy some weird mental thing that they have. I mean, they were fucking able to do this thing yesterday, were they unable, and now today, or for some reason, it's like they can't exist without this library. And I just don't get it. I just don't understand why it is so important. And a good example for me today, which is one of my favorite triggers, is like a lot of people want to talk to me about, in React land, for example, they want to talk about React hooks. And I just sit there and I go, okay, why is this so useful? What is the big deal with React hooks? All of the functionality that this stuff provides to you is already possible to build today. You can build it today. The only difference between this and what you can do today is that you maybe you save yourself a tiny bit of boilerplate, or maybe you get a little bit more functional. And the trade-off is that now you actually have to declare your hooks in the correct order and just make sure that you know exactly how all of this works, because if you don't, you might actually involuntarily use the use effect method in the incorrect way, or you might produce some other much more advanced type of flaw into the system because you added something in that you fucking don't need. Sorry. Yeah, this is my personal, very unpopular opinion. I have nothing against people adding in innovation or either thinking in new ways. But what I have a problem with is when people seem to believe that new is better, or that just because some idea comes along that everything about it is an amazing idea. Because if you can't separate from what you actually need to truly do your job and do that effectively, and what is just another way of doing the same thing, and if you can't distinguish between the trade-off that you are building or you're making here, then you shouldn't add it in. You should be a bit conservative when you add in new tools, because one thing that is absolutely 100% true, every single product has the same issue, is that at some point the system will grow to a complexity level where it is so complicated to maintain that system that no one person can understand it. And you speed up that process by a lot by having all these ad hoc decisions and kind of trying stuff out, and then that person quits, and now you have to maintain some other way of working. You lock yourself into, you create legacy because you make uninformed decisions about adding in libraries or changing a paradigm of working for some extremely subjective value, when the thing that you should be focused on, the only thing you should focus on always, that's the only thing that matters, is number one, how maintainable is the code? Because the more maintainable and the simpler the code that you can write, because there is a sweet spot to this thing. There is you have tools that make you more productive and truly make a difference, and then you have all this extra bullshit fluff on top that will actually slow you down, and that is the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to have the shortest time to market with the highest amount of stability within the system. That's all that matters. I don't fucking care about your developer experience in comparison. If it stands between you being able to use your favorite little library and us being able to make sure that everybody working at that company understands what direction we're moving in, and understanding all the tools that we have and being able to produce consistent results, I don't care about you. I don't care at all. I don't care if you cry at night because you can't use your favorite library or plugin or whatever. I don't care, because the thing that matters isn't that the individual who wants to push for this, or this small group of people within the company wants to push this thing. What matters is that we deliver on time as quickly as possible. We need to meet all our deadlines, and that we have a system where we can, in an easy fashion, onboard new members to our team and have everybody up to speed as quickly as possible. That supersedes, that goes above everything else. Everything. It's more important than anything else. No, because at the end of the day, a tool is supposed to help you achieve this result. And unless it actually does, then you just added a problem. If it's not helping you become faster and creates higher quality of code within your code base, it's just a problem. It's just another way of doing it. And sometimes it's actually better for you to not opt into something and really just basically try to figure out an improvement on the way that you're doing things today. You have to really know what you're doing before you just jump on the next bandwagon or add things in without thinking about it. Because the problem is, and this is what I mean, if I ever quit my job at the company because of something that is code related, it's going to be if I feel that some person just kind of walked right into the room, just sat down, laid down the law and said, we're going to use this tool. And I can clearly see that, all right, this tool here, if this is an enormous risk for the entire company, this person, if this project gets pushed through and we start depending on this tool that this person just suggested, and for any reason it doesn't work exactly the way we need it, this will become a bottleneck for our entire development process. And if I really know that that's going to happen, I've now been in situations where this has happened, where some person just walks in and says, because they have the hippo status, the highest paid person opinion, they come in and say, here, I built this awesome thing, or built my own library. Here, you support it now. And then they fuck off and they start the next thing. And then I sit here with basically an unfinished product that they built, and now I have to maintain it, and I have to make sure, and somehow I'm responsible now. I just became responsible for somebody else's mess. And it's my fault now. Rather, the problem is that now that slowed down all of the teams working at the company. That's what happened, because somebody made an ad hoc decision that basically locked down us into a very specific way of doing things. And the only reason we did it was because, hey, they had a feeling for this thing here. That is my very unpopular programming opinion. So what I want you to take away from this is, if you want to stay on my good side, don't force some ad hoc decision that may cripple our ability to deliver fast, that can cripple our time to market as a company. And don't make me have to support some type of library that basically only gives you a really small group of people within the company, or maybe even one person, some mental satisfaction that we're using it, when we could have had a much faster time to market and a more stable working environment where we can very quickly train new people and actually produce real value for the company. Have a great day.